Welcome Sun Devil families to our Maroon and Gold Family Connection. I'm Talyn Gibbs, your Sun Devil moderator for today's chat on how to have your student have a safe spring break. I'm joined today by Crime Prevention Officer Becky Garcia. Hi, Becky.
Hi, Talyn. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Excellent.
So we're going to have a few questions for you today, how to have your students have a safe spring break.
Okay.
Alrighty, so to start off, we know many students will be traveling out of state for their spring break. So what are some preparation tips that you have for them?
Anybody traveling out of state, well, first thing I'd say is make preparations. I mean, plan in advance. Make sure you know where you're staying, and if it's going to be at a hotel or someplace else. But you want to make sure that you keep your belongings safe while you're there as well. So if you're in a hotel, a lot of times they'll have a hotel safe. So if you have like your passport or credit cards or extra money or just things that you want to stay safe, you don't want to keep that in your pocket the entire time and walk around with that, but you want to make sure that that stays safe. And so use that safe. Make sure they're locking their doors. That's really important. Even a balcony door, even second, third floor, that would be really important as well. And if it's a hotel, don't invite new people into your room or anything like that. But stay with your group, as much as possible, and just use the same type of safety precautions that you would use here or wherever you are.
Would you suggest that as well for students that are going out of the country?
Out of country, absolutely, especially like then where they might be having their passports or something like that. You don't want somebody like, hey, hold on to my stuff for me, because if you do get separated or something does happen, you want to make sure all that stuff is in a safe space. So again, hopefully, again, you've made preparations in advance, and if you are at a hotel, there should be a safe in the room. If not, then you need to ask, the hotel desk about that. But again, just watching out for each other, that's really important. Hopefully you're going with a group, and don't get separated from your group. But for everyone, it's like we don't want to like walk around in our own little personal bubbles. No matter where we are, we need to be alert and aware of our surroundings and the behaviors and demeanors of people around us. So that way, it can kind of take any type of, it reduces the opportunity for a crime to occur or something bad to happen. We just need to be alert and aware of where we are.
So what are some things ASU families can do to support their student during their spring break adventures?
Communication is key. I'd still say, make sure you're still having the talks beforehand, about things that you would say to your high schooler when they're, going out on the town or doing whatever they're doing. It's just be safe, make good choices, make good decisions. And also if they're traveling out of state or out of the country, make sure there's a communication plan, that they're going to call at a certain period of time, that how you're going to be able to get in touch with them, and also make sure that you have the contact information of everyone that your student or your child is traveling with, and that they have each other's. So if something does happen where they get separated, they want to be able to contact mom and dad at home or whoever.
So for ASU students who are planning road trips with friends, for example, like taking a ski trip up to Flag or Sedona and stuff like that, what does safety look like for them?
Safety, still the same premise as before. Usually with somebody else, driving their own personal car, and just understand that that's a lot of responsibility. And so we want to make sure, if you're driving, drive safely. Again, you've got precious cargo in that vehicle. It's not, and your parents, that you're their most precious cargo, right? And so you just have to watch out for each other, drive safely, make sure that, again, we're just making good choices. That really is an important thing. Just got to hit that home with a communication plan and being responsible.
So in your experience, what are some common issues students may face when they go on spring break, and how can they avoid those issues?
Some common issues, I think sometimes with going out of town or out of state or out of the country or whatever, sometimes I think people think that there is an expectation, that there will be, heavy alcohol, and a lot of times all that is available, and so I think just having our students remember that it's under the age of 21, it's illegal to consume alcohol. But the most important thing that if any of us decide, under the age of 21 or over the age of 21, to drink in moderation. Because because what happens, the first thing that happens when we drink alcohol is our judgment is impaired, okay? And so for those developing brains under the age of 25, so that's even a double whammy. And so it's important that we make good decisions, drink in moderation, make sure you have one sober person, designated driver, make sure you're not driving if you do decide to drink, but take Uber, take Lyft or whatever, a taxi cab, whatever you got to do, but you never want to get behind the wheel when you've been consuming alcohol.
So thinking back to your own spring break adventure, what's one thing should have been changed in the past, or one thing you think would be a safer experience for you?
Okay, well, I was a little bit of a goody-goody, so I really didn't have that much of a experience. But as an officer here for the past 11 years, I would say, again, those students who choose to consume alcohol, we just want, do it in moderation. Stick with your friends. If you see someone behaving in an unsafe manner, then, just make sure we're watching out for each other. Because for me, Sun Devils keep Sun Devils safe. It's our responsibility to do that. And another thing would be also when you go to a restaurant or you're going out or anything, you don't want to leave your food or drink unattended. You always want to make sure you have your friends, somebody there that will watch out for things. You never just want to leave that unattended. But we just need to watch out for each other, and step in when we see something, and never leave each other alone. If you go someplace with a group, leave with that same group, or at least that one person, but never let somebody leave by themselves, okay? Because again, that's just really important, especially if we're going to travel out of the country, okay, or just pretty much anywhere we go. And so, so I would just recommend we have to make good choices anywhere we go.
So even though campus will be quiet during spring break and there's students that stay here for a job and other opportunities, what are some tips and resources that you could provide for them when they're on campus and it's kind of quiet?
Well, there's still going to be a lot of things to do around the university. The university itself probably will be a little bit quiet, and that's actually kind of nice. But again, there's all sorts of different opportunities to socialize and those types of things. But sometimes because the campus is less populated, this would be really a good time to make sure that they have the Live Safe app downloaded, because there's some really cool things that you can do. The safety escort, I don't believe that's going to be running at all on the Tempe campus, but if anybody ever is feeling unsafe, and after hours or anything like that, they can always call our non-emergency line at the ASU Police Department, and they can get an escort with one of our police aides or an officer to make sure that they get there safely. But again, with Live Safe, they can also invite a friend to watch them virtually as they go from one location to the next, and then disable it as soon as they're there. So it's a completely safe app. And nobody can follow you basically without your permission. So it's just keeping those same safety precautions, but making sure someone knows where you are, when you're going to be back. That's important.
So would you like to add any advice for our Sun Devils families and students?
With our families, again, I would just say, communicate. That's really important. I'm going to look at my little tips here really quick. But I think, some of the most important things are no matter what we do, no matter where we go, we have to be alert and aware of our surroundings. You know, we have to be looking up and around. We can't be buried in our own little personal bubble, in our cell phones and our 2 earbuds, but we need to be, you know, get our heads up. And we need to not just be alert and aware of where we are, but also of the people around us, their demeanors, behaviors, because if we're in our bubble, you know, we can miss a whole bunch of stuff, you know. And so anyway, in order for a crime to occur, there has to be opportunity. So for us to be much more alert and aware of our surroundings, we're minimizing that opportunity. And so if we can do that, I really think no matter where we are, that really helps us maintain a better, safer atmosphere for ourselves and people around us.
Thank you. That's all the time we have for today's Family Connection Chat. A big thank you to Becky Garcia of the ASU Police Department for joining us today. Sun Devils families, we hope you and your students enjoy a fun, productive, and safe spring break. Go Devils!